Capaclahui Training Center is located on the Indian Preservation of Tayutic Turrialba in the province of Cartago, Costa Rica. It includes a training center and hostel that facilitates interaction between locals and visitors and develops sustainable community projects in harmony with the environment. In turn, the center is part of a strategic system of rural integration and community strengthening, including roads, caves, and trails. Additionally, we designed a network of pedestrian bridges that make some sections accessible at critical times of the year and can provide temporary shelter. The hostel is located in a very rugged and mountainous terrain surrounded by different streams. So part of the design strategy was to be able to connect all of these indigenous communities separated by these natural boundaries and make natural thoroughfares that would allow them to get across the rivers from their towns and villages into this community center hostel. Here you'll find designs for the bridge and a basic scheme that was a general archetype of a structure, and then it was applied in different formats to cross different lengths and widths of the corresponding streams and rivers. Again, here you will see the way that the structure was developed. You'll see that it's using very local and indigenous materials and construction methods. Stylistically, it tends to interpret sort of the vernacular architecture to provide solutions that are adequate and perhaps more design sensitive to the current context. The hostel project consists of 470 meters squared distributed within a large linear layout. Along its longitudinal axis, it comprises on the first level administrative areas, multi-purpose rooms, dining, kitchen, restrooms, computer room, library, and warehouses. In the double height of the front part, it incorporates a mezzanine as an area that provides temporary shelter. Here you'll find the floor plan and the front facade. Diagrammatically speaking, it was designed to be very modular, also again using very basic materials. You'll see here some of the modular furniture design, the way that they're using common building materials such as galvanized roofing sheets. Again, glulam purlins and glulam main framing make it very easy for these non-site source materials to be built and composed. And you'll also notice in the bottom corner of this diagram how they use an indigenous wooden envelope that creates natural shelter and privacy, but also allows the breeze to come through, having been located in the mountains. Again, here you'll see a details section which shows exactly how the inner workings of the structure are composed. You'll see that there is the mezzanine here, again using wood and materials that are easy to source, easy to find, easy to transport, and in general just providing a large structure that can create this sense of openness that they wanted to be pervasive in the design scheme. Again, here you'll see some of the themes coming through from the design of the bridge. Again, these are the breezeways that they used throughout the structure of the hostel. You'll see again some of the native wood that create this nice scrim and brise soleil passageways. Again, mimicking what they find in the native jungle canopies and the surrounding context. Here is a similar view, but from the outside again, looking at the prolific use of wood and different joining techniques that are indicative of a cultural and vernacular heritage that inform the way that this structure could be built. Again, here you'll have another interior perspective showing, again, these breezeways and some of the community space, open areas, open spaces. Again, very minimally constructed, but however, very elegant nonetheless. Using very simple joining methods, and again, easy to use construction, very easy to dimension, very easy to transport. And then this next slide, you'll see here the modular furniture that created these cubbies for different storage for some of these community inhabitants to come and spend the day here, either learning or organizing for voting or just seeking refuge from travel, and just spaces for their children and them to learn and pick up new skills and new trades. Also, modern medicine and education is administered here in this setting as well. Here's a closer shot of interaction happening with some of the local campesinos. Campesinos are what they call the laborers, the people that work out in the fields. These people, again, come together, and these buildings, this type of architecture makes it possible for these communities to organize themselves and have a common meeting place. Again, here you're going to see some of the detailed wood scrim, some of the joinery. Again, very clean, very simple aesthetic, however elegant nonetheless. You'll see some of the features here which mixes Western type of building and architecture with some of the indigenous use of materials. The scrims, which are made of the natural precious woods, you'll see that here in the main foreground. Again, here you'll see how they use very simple materials like lattice work and simple barn doors, barn casing, in order to make a very clean, open, and airy, well-ventilated space, which the community can take pride in, and also afford them some of the comforts and privileges that come with first world architecture. You'll see another drawing here that shows the west facade and the peak roof. This is a very jungle, wet climate, a lot of humidity. So you want these large ceilings that allow the hot air to escape. They're ventilated, naturally ventilated, using passive systems for ventilation. You'll also see the structure just designed to be open and easy to ventilate, easy for the air to circulate through, and also creates nice natural spaces for people to congregate and gather. You'll see here again the roof line, which shows how these roofs are ventilated. Part of the form also starts to allude to the mountainous background that you'll find that this building is set into. Again, you'll see natural sort of meadows here. You'll see the goat grazing, which is a part of their subsistence. Part of these people's subsistence, they cultivate goat for their milk, their meat, and also to help graze their land. Again, here's another detail of what this scrim looks like using the indigenous hardwoods that are collected in the nearby rainforests. Again, very simple concrete base piers. You'll see wood dimension lumber being used extensively throughout. But again, humble materials do not necessarily mean that this is a humble structure. It's again, very elegantly designed. You can see the pride and the craft that come together when a project like this is really grounded in its regionalism and really looks to use the vestiges of the existing context in order to make better architecture. And again, here you'll see the mountains in the background. Again, the roofline mimicking the slopes of the background, as well as providing shelter from the never-ending tropical storms that come during the rainy season, which is their winter. Again, adequate ventilation throughout, very basic principles of architecture and construction, creating shade and sheltered areas for its occupants. And again, one more time, you'll see here a stormy day in which these deep pitch roofs will definitely come in handy in order to shelter the occupants and local neighbors from the storm. This is an example of how architecture that is firmly grounded in its context and is regionalistic in nature can actually provide a place where good things happen to people, where these people can feel like they're a center of a community, where they feel dignity and start to begin to understand how architecture can inform and create our social equity.